Good morning, Year 11. I hope that you're all doing really well today. So before we start with the lesson today, I need to make sure that you're familiar with some of the instructions and the symbols you'll see on the slides. When you see them on the slides, you need to follow the instructions. So you can see that you have the press pause button over here. This is after I've explained what you're going to do. You need to press pause, and then you either need to do a task on your whiteboard, in your on your sheet of paper. This one is set a timer, so each task is timed. It's just so that you don't waste your time. You don't spend too little or too much time on a task. This one you won't see in this video. Self-assess. This is really important. So there will be tasks in which you will not self-assess your work, because if you haven't finished it, you will go home and you will use it for revision. There will be some exam questions in which you will self-assess your work. So if you see this tick, it means you need to correct your work, because it shows good reflection. This one over here with the pen just means write down your answers. So today you're going to continue refreshing and revising ecology topic for your test. You now know that you will use a textbook and your writing book to help you make revision cards. This will be done on an A4 sheet of paper, or unless you have revision cards with you. So you'll either be shown a slide, it will be either a revision card or an exam question on it. For the exam question slides, or the ones that say silence on them, you have to do them in silence. It's just so that you have time to focus, know that it's your work, your knowledge that you have. The exam questions have a mark scheme, which allows you to then correct your answers. These lessons will all be put up on Teams for you, so if you don't complete the whole lesson, which you really should be trying your best to do that, but if you don't, or you want to go back to it, you will find it on Teams. Okay, so for your silent starter, I would like you to draw a food chain with the following organisms: fish, phytoplankton, killer whale, seal. Extension, if you're finished, what do the arrows represent in the food chain? So pause the video now. Once you've done the starter, press play again. Pause now. Okay. Let's see what you got. So, phytoplankton, fish, seal, killer whale. The arrows, what do they represent? They show which way the energy is moving in a food chain. They do not show what eats what. They show which way the energy is moving in a food chain. Okay, so for revision card 1, you have 3 minutes to do this. So all food chains begin with a producer, which synthesizes molecules and makes glucose via photosynthesis. Give some examples of producers on your sheet of paper. Remember, write down examples of producers are, and then give me a few examples. Once you have finished that, explain the limiting factors for the producers. So think about what producers are and limiting factors that would limit their growth. So pause the video now, set the timer for 3 minutes, and then write down your answers. So moving on to the next revision card. This is a task will take you 3 minutes. We have now studied 2 main ways to sample an ecosystem: a belt transect, which is looking at changes in distribution across an ecosystem, or random sampling. And what is used for random sampling? You used a quadrat. So this is collecting data randomly using coordinates to get a representation of an ecosystem. Question: why is sampling an ecosystem useful? If you're an ecologist, why do you use one of these 2 sampling techniques to sample an ecosystem? What do you learn? So press pause, set your timer for 3 minutes, and write down your answers. So pause now. Okay, revision card 3. This will take you 3 minutes. So a predator is a consumer that kills and eats other animals. A prey is an organism that gets killed and eaten. The question is, why do predator-prey graphs show cycles like the image on the right? So look at the graph. What is it telling you? Why does it look like this? Remember, you have to scientifically explain why the graph looks like this. Don't explain what you can see on the graph. Why does the graph look like this? So press pause, set your timer for 3 minutes. Pause now. Okay, revision card 4. This will take you 7 minutes. It'll probably take you less time than that. So you're going to draw and label the water cycle with the words below: evaporation, condensation, precipitation. It's really important that you understand the differences between these three, because if you don't, you can easily lose a very easy mark just from misunderstanding the descriptions and using the wrong word. An extension if you've finished. Explain the importance of the water cycle. Why do we need the water cycle? Look back in your books to the lesson. Think about the big question. Why do we need the water cycle? So press pause, set your timer for 7 minutes, and write down your answers. So pause now, please. Revision card 5. This will take you 7 minutes. So draw and label the carbon cycle with the words below. So you have photosynthesis, respiration, feeding, death, decomposition, burning. Feeding and death are 2 different words. Extension. If you're finished, please explain the importance of the carbon cycle. So again, look back in your book. Think about the big question. Think about the carbon cycle. So press pause, set your timer for 7 minutes. Pause now. Okay, so revision card, next one. This one you have 4 minutes. Environmental changes affect the distribution of species in an ecosystem. What kind of changes will this include? List 3 of them that you know, please. An extension, if you've done that. Explain how seasonal changes affect the distribution of species. We are coming to a change of season. We're going from autumn to winter soon. How can that affect the distribution of species? So pause, set your timer for 4 minutes. Pause now. So I will give you some answers for this one. So environmental changes include temperature, availability of water, and composition of the atmospheric gas. So we have an exam practice question. This has to be done in silence, please. You have 3 minutes to do it, including reading the question. So pause your timer. Pause the video, set your timer for 3 minutes, and write down your answers. Then we move on to the next slide, and you will self-assess your work. So pause now, please. Let's have a look at the answer. So how does the student calculate that there were 115,200 buttercup plants in the field? So this is your answer. You need to make sure that you've counted. There's 12 buttercup plants in this quadrat. So remember, it's really difficult to count the number of buttercup plants or daisies in giant fields. So you use sampling to estimate the amount that you have in your ecosystem. So have a look at your answer. Is this what you got? And remember, you are always, always, always given all the information you need in the question. So exam practice, second one, for 2 minutes now, because 2 minutes, 2 points. So I would like you to press pause, set your timer for 2 minutes, and then start the task, please. So pause now. The answer is, you could use more quadrats or more repeats. That is how you increase accuracy in any scientific experiment. For example, when you are in a lab and you want to publish data, so when I worked in a lab and I published my own papers, I had to repeat the experiment 3 times. That's the minimum you have to do it. But if I wanted to increase accuracy, I would repeat it more than 3 times. Every time you repeat it and you get the same result, you are increasing the accuracy. Also, what you could do is you could place them randomly. So remember, you're self-assessing here. Use a different colored pen if you can, or different colored font. And for the last task, in silence again, you have 12 minutes. Go through these questions. They will help you to look through a lot of the ecology topic and refresh your memory. So once you have finished this, you can press unpause and come off the video. So pause the timer, set for 12 minutes, and good luck. And I hopefully see you soon. Okay, bye.